Hello, my name is Maxwell Warren, and this is my Disciplinary Literacy Project Reflection video. Uh, and I will start off just saying my profession was biomedical laboratory science. Or that's my major, sorry. And my profession was biomedical laboratory researcher. And what my report was about was kind of finding what was the best tactic for being in a lab and where the funds come from uh, and how what dynamics go into a lab, a biomedical lab. Um, and what I learned was uh, that, or I'll start out with the dynamics in the lab. I learned that you needed good organization, uh, good communication, self-confidence, note keeping, and a bunch of others. But those were a lot of the main ones. Um, Organization, you needed that for being efficient, uh, keeping everything precise, and for safety, because a lot of the time you would be dealing with biohazardous waste, as in just like blood and everything, and that could get you sick or that could mess it up. So you just need to be organized and keep it clean. And of course, when everything is organized, things go faster. And for communication, this is a huge one because nowadays everything is very, very complex, and you need a lot more people to work on a certain problem. And because of that, you just need a lot more people, and so you need to talk to more people. Like now you need microbiologists, genetics, and a bunch of other specialists in a lab. You can't just have one person anymore being in a lab because that'd be overwhelming. And going off that, you kind of need good self-confidence because you're gonna either be the only specialist in like that one type specialist in the lab, or there's gonna be few of you, so you can't always think of, or you can't always just be like, oh, it's okay if I get it wrong, or not okay if you get it wrong, but like I can ask for help or um, whatever if it's for that one thing, because you need to be very strong in that subject. Um, Not that you can't ask for help with simpler things or things that everybody's good at, just for that one subject you may need to be really strong. And note keeping is the other. Is one of the last ones that I wrote down right here, and that one is very important because when you're researching something, you need to make sure that you do everything step by step, exactly, and the rules of it are kind of said by the person that I interviewed, and I'll talk about interviewing later. Um, the person that I interviewed, he said, yeah, if you should have it be if someone's working on it and they die unexpectedly right during the middle of it, someone should be able to walk in and push them aside and keep on going. And I thought that was kind of intense. But it's, of course, I mean, we did the same thing in this project, kind of. Um, and I understood that before going in. But I thought that was really um, cool. Uh, and then the other thing that my project was about was funds. And that was a little bit not what I expected because I thought the researchers would get the funds. But what I figured out is if you go into companies and you're not just doing research for pure excitement of knowledge. Like, you're doing it for like a specific outcome that you're trying to get. Then it's then most likely you're going to have a human resources team that deals with the funds of how much you get and how much you're going to spend on the instruments that you use and the products that you get and all that sorts of business. So mostly the funds and grants, if you're in a company like that, you're not going to really have to deal with them as often, and it's not as important as it is in a university, or somewhere that you're gonna do it for, like learning. I don't know. It sounded odd, but alright, whatever. And the literacy practices that were involved in my profession were note taking is one, because you have to constantly write down and be very persistent and precise, and you have to be exact with what you write, and you have to write down everything. And another one would be reports that you would have to do when you're done. So you could have a discussion and you could get what your answers were from your data and everything, and you can bring it to the people so they can use it, obviously. So there's like journalism, there's journals, not journalisms, there's journals that do that. There is websites that you can go to, and obviously this is taught to people like doctors so they can learn and use your tactics or instruments or whatever you were researching for public health, which is very freaking awesome. And I'm gonna talk about just the interviewing. That sucked, to be honest. Finding people to interview was awful. I did not like it. I don't think I talked to anybody during the field day or the speed dating thing, and all of them were like, no. It was very hard and annoying trying to find people to interview. Most of them just said no or didn't have any idea what we were talking about, so that wasn't really fun. And I guess in the very beginning, this project was very, very overwhelming. Overwhelming a lot. And the further you got, it didn't become overwhelming as much. And then my last thing that I wanted to say was, will I follow in this career? Possibly. I really want to. It sounds like a lot of fun for me, but the only thing that I'm really scared about is a lot of the researchers, just because it's so hard to get funds. Sorry, I didn't talk about this in funds. It's very hard to get funds from, not just from the not just from the human resources team, just not every company needs to have research, I guess you could say. Not everybody's looking for a researcher. And it's very difficult to make sure that you keep on getting paid for that, because it's kind of like you get paid, you get an interview and then you get paid for 2 to 1 years or whatever, and then you have to take another interview again, kind of. That's just very simply how I put it. It's way more complex, but some people never know if they're going to have a job next year, which is very scary, but that would be the only reason why I wouldn't want to do this career. But it was very hopeful, this project, and I liked it a lot. And I am way over my time, so I'm gonna leave. And have a great day, I guess.